Hello, hello, everyone. I am so excited to see all of you on tonight or today, wherever you're tuning in from, morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Angel, and I am so excited about this call because we have had so many people asking about this topic. And so I'm like, what better way to do this than with my dear friend, Dr. Kristal Vance? And so, what is the purpose of today's call? The purpose really today is to educate about semaglutides and how to utilize holistic alternatives. And I'm going to get into that here in a minute with my dear friend, Dr. Kristal Vance. So a little bit about me is my name is Angel Whitmire. I'm a mama of two. I have a almost 25-year-old son in a few days, and then my daughter just turned 9. I live here in Dallas, Texas. I am super, super passionate about health and wellness. And the reason for that is back when I was 15 years old, I got the lucky thing of being vaccine injured and was then diagnosed with transverse myelitis, which then paralyzed me from the waist down. I was not able to walk. I had to use a wheelchair, and I was in that hospital for months with actually no cure to ever walk again. By the grace of God, I am walking again, but it does come with some residual effects that I've dealt with now for many, many years since then. But I would say early on, from that moment forward, I knew in my heart that I wanted to be involved in some kind of health and wellness to help people, because that led me to then getting into personal training. I became an aerobics instructor at age 18. If anyone's done aerobics, I don't know, you might be not old enough as I was, but I was an aerobics instructor first, and then I did personal training because I really just loved helping people with their body. I was actually going to go in to be a physical therapist, but I chose personal training instead. And so it led me onto this path of really learning my body, what it meant to help others, transitioning with their health. And so then it led me into years later, I became a fitness competitor. And because I knew like I just wanted to push my body to the extreme. And I won many awards doing that. And I was so grateful for that opportunity and that time. But what I didn't understand is that when you do certain things like that, it can also wreck your body, because I didn't really understand the importance of like true nutrition. Yes, I was eating clean, but I was also told I could have anything sugar-free. So I was drinking Diet Coke like crazy, doing all the sugar-free things. And so I really didn't have a grasp on chemicals in our foods, right? And so after I stopped competing, my body went havoc on me. My adrenals shut down. I gained 20 pounds in 2 months. My hormones were all out of whack. And so at that moment, I was like, there's got to be a different way. Like, what is happening to my body? Because I was eating the same, I was training the same. So it led me down the path of holistic health and nutrition. And I got bioidentical hormones. And so it led me down this path. And so I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and got my holistic health certification. So I became a holistic health coach. And that to me was like an eye opener. And it allowed me to really help people get healthy from the inside out, not just eat clean, right? And so it allowed me to just go behind the curtain and see kind of what is all in our food, right? And so I really had this passion to want to help others get healthy from the inside out, which then also led to helping people lose weight, right? Because a lot of people battle with that. And so then I saw a way to do this online because I was doing this really one-on-one. And when I got introduced to being able to do this online about 10 years ago, I saw the opportunity really to help so many more people around the world live a holistic life. And so that was what I love, and that's why I'm passionate about what I'm doing, and helping really people get healthy from the inside out, because it's been a long journey for me. And to just see what's out on the market today, there's so many things that you're inundated with every day. So why are we having this call? We are here to educate you on semaglutides. Okay, it's the rave right now. It's the word going around. Everybody's doing it, kind of thing. What are these new GLP-1 copycat products that are coming out, and are they effective? Right, I'm sure you're hearing that around the globe too. Are the body balancing drops, are they safe to use with the semaglutide, and will they help? Okay, because I know we're on this call all about learning about these little babies too, right? Which we all are in love with. And then what can someone expect if they transition, right? From like the semaglutide or the shots to the drops. So who better to do this than Dr. Kristal Vance? Dr. Kristal Vance lives in Orlando, Florida. After 28 years of working with patients as a functional medicine chiropractor, she herself had lost herself in her own health. She experienced autoimmune issues and her hormones were all out of whack, probably like I experienced. And she's not only lost more weight than what she weighs now, which is amazing, incredible, but using her story, she has become a light to others who feel broken in their health. And what she now does is she focuses on teaching how to get back to the basics with great nutrition and using drop system for long-term success. So Dr. Kristal Vance, thank you so much for wanting to do this with me. I'm so inspired by you every single day. You bring so much value and inspiration to all of us around. And so I wanted to ask you to just share a little bit about your journey, how you found the drops, and then I'll come back to you and ask some more questions as we move forward.
Absolutely. Well, there's a reason that you and I connect because our stories are so similar. It's like kind of scary.
Yeah.
Um, Hi everyone. I consider it an honor to even be asked because I really believe that our mess is our message. That we were given these messes in our life, things that we think are really that could easily become a victim of the story. And there's plenty of times I thought I was the victim of my story. But what I have found is I have something that I empowered myself with. And so I'm really excited to pass on that knowledge to you today because you might be sitting here going, I'm broken and I don't know how to get myself fixed. And I am telling you, you're not broken. You're not broken. But there are some things that we can help you with. And right now, I see a lot of people who are in that broken thought process, like, I don't know what else to do. And so they're turning um, maybe to the semi-glutides. And, we're going to talk about that. We're going to go a little bit in depth with that. But how I got here is 5 years of age, I had my immunizations for kindergarten, and I also had an insult. And from that point, all of a sudden, a few weeks later, my hair started to fall out. And so I've had alopecia, some type or form of alopecia, since I was 5 years old. And the only way that they knew how to help was to do years and years and years of steroid treatments. How many of you know someone with an autoimmune issue, or you yourself have one? If so, put something here in the comments. Put a 1 here in the comment if it's you or you know someone. There's so many. And up until this point, this part of the medical world has one tool, and it's steroids. And steroids are a hormone disruptor. That's really what they are. At their base part of it, they're supposed to stop your body from doing what it's supposed to do. Because right now they see what your body is doing is a bad thing. And so let's stop your body from functioning. Well, that's good if you want out of the symptoms, but it doesn't really get to the basis of why your body's doing it. And so I feel like since I was a young age, I felt like I've been Sherlock Holmesing my health. Like everything I did, I think, Angel, you probably like relate to this, where it's like, I'm going to do this so I can figure out this. And it led you to the next step. And then it led you to the next step. And so that's what happened to me. I knew that those years of steroids, I mean, I saw my weight go up and down. You can literally see through my, like, you get the little picture frame that has all of the photos of you around it from every grade. And you're like, oh, shots, no shots. Oh, shots. Why? Because I'm like 30 pounds heavier, 30 pounds lighter. So my weight has always been correlated to my health. So my whole life, I grew up thinking that if I was healthy, I was thin. And if I wasn't healthy, I was fat. Now, I might say the fat word and it might trigger you. And I want you to know that I'm okay with triggering you with that word. And the reason that I am is I want you to become just as much triggered when I tell you you're unhealthy as when I tell you you're fat. Because this is a conversation about health and wellness, not about how thin you are. And so sometimes the scale dictates to us because we look at ourselves in the mirror every day. And the only thing that we know to measure is a scale, but that's only one tool if we're looking at being healthy. And so I started to take my steps to find health. You guys, I dieted myself to 300 pounds. I was over 300 pounds. And I've lost a lot of weight. In fact, I say I was a professional weight losser. And now I'm a professional keeper offer. And I'm a professional healthy girl. I want to be God's girl and I want to be healthy girl. And I do my best to do both. To the best of my ability. And so along this journey, I did find the body balancing drops. I believe in them. I hear so many people call them different names. They are skinny drops, slenderized drops, body balancing drops, whatever you call them. What I know is they are nothing but nutritional support to help your body go back to function. And that's my goal as a doctor, right? When I signed my name on my creed and took my oath, it was that I would do everything in my ability to restore function to a person's body. And so that's my goal today. And that's my goal for you to learn how to do that yourself, because that's empowering. You passing your health over to somebody in one of these little things doesn't help you. If your doctor knows more about your health than you do, you're in trouble. I think we've learned that over the last couple of years. And so what's transpired is the need and the desire for semaglutide, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy. Those are just brands. That's what I want everybody to realize, that those are just a chemical prescription, medicine, pharmaceutical, and all of those names are just different brands of the same thing. And so Angel, are we ready to deep dive into this? We are.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
we're going to do that right
Awesome.
now. And so I love that you touched a little bit on the drops because, for me, it's not like I had weight to lose. So if someone's on here like, hey, I don't have weight to lose, but my hormones are running havoc, I've been there, right? And the whole reason why I said yes to these drops was because of my friend Kristen, and she didn't have a lot to weight to lose, but her cortisol levels were crazy. And so I knew, like, if I could find a way that really could help people holistically balance out their hormones, balance out their body, and no, this is not hormone replacement therapy, just FYI, that naturally it would be a better way. It would be a better solution. I love how you said nutritional support. You didn't say weight loss product, right? Nutritional support that brings the body into balance that then can release the weight if you have weight to lose, right? But there's so many other benefits, right? And so first question is, what is a semaglutide? What is that?
Well, what a semaglutide is it's a GLP-1, and that it mimics a hormone that we have in our body. So semaglutide mimics GLP-1s. So GLP-1, the G stands for glucagon. Okay. So glucagon, I'm like, I got my cheat sheet over here, you guys. You want to know why? And I think this is important. I'm going to take this as something that someone needs to hear. Just because I have this white coat on doesn't mean I know everything. I am only as good as my knowledge base. I'm not a computer. I wasn't born. Just because we have doctor, MD, DC, naturopath, homeopath, whatever the title, we're only as knowledgeable as what we've learned. And so as soon as all of this started to happen, I had to deep dive in and get the education too. I didn't in the beginning realized that this is really what I was working on. It all comes to insulin sensitivity. And so glucagon, what it does is it's mimicking that hormone that our body produces. And what our body is supposed to do is when it senses that our blood sugar is going up, it dumps glucagon into our body so that our blood sugar doesn't go too high. Now, how many of us have blood sugar issues? How many do you know are pre-diabetic, diabetic, hypoglycemic, hyperglycemic? You hear, right? It's the full spectrum, one end to the other. They're all imbalance of insulin sensitivity. And that's really what we're all working with. We're trying to turn back on our body's own ability to monitor our blood sugars. And so when you're taking the Ozempic or Wegovy or semaglutide, it's usually a shot, right? And they're expensive. Ugh. That's one of the things that is out. I mean, many people when these very first came out were getting a coupon to use them. And so they were getting them at a discount. And then all of a sudden, the diabetics couldn't get their medication because these are usually used by diabetics, right? Because it's a blood sugar issue. And all of a sudden they couldn't get it. And so they started to limit the length that you could have the coupon to get the price reduced. So some people lost their coupon. And so it went from being very affordable for them to use this to now super, super expensive. So as someone takes the shot, their body then thinks they have their body's like, wait, that's glucagon. I need to dump all the insulin out of my cells. And so the body dumps all the insulin. Now, what glucagon does is it slows your body's absorption in the small intestine of sugar. So I want you to remember that because we're going to talk a little bit later about some of the side effects and that are long term that not everybody has, but there's certainly a lot of people reporting that that doesn't turn back on. We need our small intestine to function, right? So that's not a good thing. So it tells our small intestine to stop absorbing the blood sugar. Well, if you don't absorb the sugar, then what happens? It doesn't get stored in a fat cell for energy, which is what we're supposed to do. And so if we don't store it, then we don't have fat. So then let's say I'm someone who's using it for weight loss. I take the shot, my body goes dump all the insulin, all of the insulin dumps out of my cells, and my body's like, everything they're bringing in, we're going to burn for fuel. We're not going to store any of this. And so all of a sudden they start to get weight loss. And sometimes they can't stop the body from doing that. And so that's another symptom that can come is that they get too thin because they can't get their body to stop that process. It can be scary. So this is what I want you all to know. You all have GLP-1 in your bodies. Every single person on here, your body has GLP-1. It's glucagon. The shot just mimics it and tells you you have more of it than you need. Okay? So that in its core is what the pharmaceutical medications are.
Yeah. And I love that you shared that because I have witnessed that with some friends that have gotten out too thin, but it's hard to stop, right? And then of course of being like super expensive. And I wanted to say something on here to be very sensitive to those that are on that. Like there's not anything here to bash you for doing it or anything like that. But kind of like Dr. Kristal Vance said, I think doctors are kind of like kind of using it when it really was designed for diabetics, right? And so I don't like that part of it either. But so can someone use the drops while they're on semaglutide? And are there any issues of someone that maybe want to try to transition
Yeah.
but with using the drops?
Well, I think, I think that goes along with, sometimes we forget to just think things through. And in terms, think about this. If I had high cholesterol and I was on a cholesterol lowering medication, would I then find nutritional support to maybe help me get myself healthier with my cholesterol to then be able to come off of the cholesterol meds? And we would say, yes, absolutely. And that is no different when we're using the drops. They are nutritional support. They are there to help support our body so that we can start to become more insulin sensitive. Now, here's the thing. What we want to pay attention to, no different than with the cholesterol, is there's going to come a point that our body begins to function because we've supported it. And so when that happens, there is the transition where the pharmaceutical is no longer needed. So if you're using them together, have to become empowered. You have to become your own health advocate to go, I am monitoring my blood sugar so that I know when I've transitioned and my body is finally functioning like it should, and there's no need for the pharmaceutical any longer. Okay.
That's Yeah, that's so good. So as you can see what she's saying is like, yes, you can use it. It is safe. There's no contraindications. Obviously, we'll tell you always to check with your doctor if you ever have any concerns, but there is no contraindications while taking the drops with medications. So any other products they should use to support when transitioning?
So when someone's transitioning, the biggest thing that we see is that the liver is right. The liver is the organ that takes the biggest insult anytime we're using any medication, not just specifically semaglutide. If you want to really help your body transition to health, you've got to help the organs, and the liver is the main one. So my favorite liver support product is a product called Restorix, and it's actually here at Partner Co, the same place where we get the drops. And Restorix is just a very gentle liver cleanse. It uses the science of zeolites, which are these incredible little structures that attract heavy metals, toxins, poisons. You think about it. What is it that's in your body that you don't want? Whatever that is, it attracts it, and then it binds it and it pulls it out of your system in elimination process versus just in your lymphatic system and you feeling yuck for months. We don't want that. We want it to be quick and fast. So I would absolutely use anything that is a gentle liver cleanse. Oh, yeah.
I love that. Okay, so some people might be on here being like, well, what are these drops, right? Because maybe you haven't heard about what these drops are. So maybe you can go into a little bit about what are the drops and what do they actually do inside the body?
Absolutely. So I want to preface this before I go there. When I was 300 pounds, if someone had told me about semaglutide, I wouldn't even have looked at the science of it. I would have raised my hand and been like, I want to try it because I had done anything and everything. Anything and everything. I even had had a gastric sleeve surgery, and what I would have said was failed with it. So I have zero judgment on anyone who is utilizing using any type of GLP-1. And now there's a big movement to help people because they see what is going on. And so anytime you bring a big audience to a problem, you're going to find a lot of people jump on a bandwagon. And what I want you all to know is that these drops have been around for years. They have been tested. People are like, how many clinical studies? I'm like, millions. We have so many people that have tried and used successfully these drops. They were created by doctors. And what the drops are is they're a two-part system. Bottle one and bottle two. Now, bottle one is homeopathy. And I love homeopathy because of the way that homeopathy works. It very rarely contraindicates with any other medicinal routine or nutritional supplemental routine. Anyone can use bottle one. We're supporting the thyroid, we're supporting digestion, we're supporting uh, blood sugar, we're curbing your appetite. Ugh, that was the hardest thing. And it's the biggest thing that I see for people is it's like they want to do all the right things, but it feels like their body isn't for them when they start a routine. Anybody else ever be there where you're like, geez, if I would just, it feels like this is so much work. The drops turn this where it becomes like you get your willpower back, your motivation in a bottle with bottle one. It's incredible. So 10 minutes before you eat your three largest meals, you're taking bottle one and you're dropping it underneath your tongue. Let it sit there for 10 to 30 seconds. Let it absorb, swallow. That's pretty simple, right? Take the drops underneath your tongue, let it absorb, swallow. I set a timer on my phone for 10 minutes because life gets busy and then I forget. So when that timer goes off, I grab bottle two. Now, bottle two is vitamins and herbs, nutritional support. And what you're going to see there, this is your de-stress bottle. At least that's what I call it. It's my de-stress bottle. Ashwagandha, the science that is on ashwagandha for helping with stress, cortisol. Oh, do you ever wonder how you can be so anxious one second and so depressed the next? That lets you know you've got some issues with cortisol. And so we're going to bring some balance back to the body with bottle two. So as soon as that timer goes off, you're going to take the designated amount with your first two meals of the day. You're going to place that underneath your tongue. Now, this also has an adaptogenic herb in it called rhodiola. Rhodiola turns your brain back on. It's why you walk into a room and you can't remember why. You're going to love bottle two. Okay. So what bottle two does is it also is known to give you some energy as well as the high levels of B12. But what I want you to know is these are not synthetic. We want as clean ingredient as we can possibly get. So you're getting methylcobalamin. So you're not getting any methylization. For anyone who knows what that means, it means you might be familiar with MTHFR, and I am not swearing when I say that. That really, truly is a genetic issue, and methylation of vitamins can be a very big problem for them, not with the two-part drop program. So those drops we're not going to take before dinner because we don't want to get ourselves alert and focused right before bed, or you're going to be not happy with us at 2 a.m. when you're cleaning your closets. So you're going to love the drops together. When you're using the drops, they are working to support your body to bring your own insulin sensitivity back on track. I want to liken this to one thing for you. Do you guys remember the very first time you had a cocktail and you had like a half a glass of alcohol and your nose turned red and you're like, and then years later you could drink a whole glass and then maybe two. Some of you may have partake in a whole bottle and been like, it took a little bit more. What is that? Well, that's alcohol sensitivity. That's what our bodies do. No different with insulin and with sugar. So as you pair your drops with a low glycemic diet, we are going to remove the ingredients from your menu that are making it where you're no longer insulin sensitive. We're going to bring back your insulin sensitivity. That then turns on your own GLP-1. How would you like to not have to take one? How about we help your body function correctly? How many of you would like to just restore your own health and wellness instead of continuing to take something to make your body react? We help our body and support it so that your body can respond healthy. I want you to be healthy, and I know you want you to be healthy.
So good. Thank you, Dr.
Mhm.
Kristal. That was amazing. And that's why I take them. Like, and someone might say also, like, do I stay on these for life? Do I take these every day? Do I come off of them? Do I cycle them? Maybe you can address that too.
Yeah, so I originally dieted off my first 80 pounds. And I was like, this is no fun. I don't like this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm so tired of trying to get this weight off. And then all of a sudden I had a lot of stress happen. And then these drops came into my world and I started to use the drops. 80 pounds later, utilizing the drops, it was about 6, 7 months, about 10 to 12 if you have weight to lose. And I love how you said it. There's plenty of thin people whose hormones are a wreck. It's usually about 90 days because it takes 90 days to get a healthy cell. Okay. So our cell regeneration is every 90 days. But after that, and after I got to my desired goal, it's about once a year, I realized that I can use them to get my body back on track. And do you know why? Because I like fudge. And Christmas comes and I am going to live life and I'm going to have the occasional piece of pizza. Why? Because I like it. I'm human. I want to enjoy life, but it's not that it's a bad, there's no bad food. Okay. But I love the fact that I know if I start to get my body out of balance again, if I start to change my insulin sensitivity again, I know exactly what to do to support my body to turn my sensitivity back on. And so I jump back on the drops. But there are others who are like, I will use these every day for the rest of my life. And you know what? You sure can. And there's lots of people who do. Being that they're a nutritional support, there's nothing in them that long term are bad for you. But I love there's other nutritional products that I want to use and consume. And so there's so many things out there. And I love that Partner Co is going to continue to bring incredible. What you guys are going to love about Partner Co is everything is tested, proven, and guaranteed. It's science. If you would like to bring science back to your life and have a healthy body, you're going to love Partner Co.
I love that. And yes, when you said that person will not go a day without them, that second bottle, that Accelerate, I will never go a day without this because this one is my happy drops. It
I have
helps.
a bottle in my purse at all times.
Like seriously, so nervous to do this call. And so I was like, where's my Accelerate?
Yes.
So it helps kind of bring down that anxiousness and anxiety for me. So I love the B12 and the ashwagandha that's in here. So many amazing benefits.
Yeah.
So one last bonus question. So what do you think about the new products coming on the market promising the same results of semaglutide? So you've seen the new pills, the elixirs, the patches. They'll say it'll do exactly the same, but it's safer. Now all the GLP-1 craze is out there right now. So how would you what do you think about all of that coming out?
Well, I know this. I'm not one. I don't need to tear someone else's down to build mine tall and big. But I do want to say, um, we've got 12 years plus of industry knowledge with this nutritional product. The problem with craze products, because that's what's going on, right? We have a craze. And I love the fact that people are giving solutions in a natural because I would love people to make a transition from from pharmaceutical over to natural, especially for long-term maintenance, because we know that the pharmaceutical means is only temporary. For as long as you use that product, that's as long as you get results with it. So after, you really do want a nutritional um, support for it. You do want a solution. I believe we have that here with Slenderize and with the Body Balance Drops. I don't know what the others are. I don't, we don't, they haven't been tested. I don't know the guarantee. I don't know the quality. And I think there's a lot of people that went fast to market to find something because they know that there's a need for it. And I know they'll be good and I know they'll be bad. And I don't have the time to help people figure out which ones they are because we've got our hands busy with a lot of people who know we have something that's tested, tried, and proven. So
That was my favorite thing you touched on. 12 years plus. Guys, that is huge because yes, you can go to the next hype product or this flashy thing over there. And like, again, it's like, it's a one-hit wonder, maybe, right? Where these have been around for 12 plus years, over $1 million bottles sold, thousands and thousands and thousands of testimonies already proven, right? So we don't have to go and be like, oh, I hope this works out. I'm not sure, it's already been proven. So I love that you touched on that. Thank you. So I just want to say thank you so much for doing this interview. I know that, like I said, it's been like I get this question almost every day of whether to do this or that, or if they've been doing that, will the drops still work for them? Nutritional support, guys, nutritional support. Do you want to live a healthy lifestyle for the rest of your life, or do you just want a quick fix right now? Right? So that's what I think about for myself is like I wanted long-term health. And, yes, I had issues with hormones and all that, but that to me is super important for long-term health and making sure you're using holistic ingredients and things that are going to keep you safe long-term. Because you might try something today, but then 5 years from now, you may have side effects from something that you took, right? And so I love that these have no side effects, although they have amazing benefits. And the side effects could be weight loss. The side effects could be less anxiousness. The side effects could be happier, right? And so those are the side effects I love. I love all those things and knowing that I'm not hurting my body long term, right? So if you'd like for more information about these body balancing drops, obviously get back to the person that shared this video with you. We want you to get your healthy back. And I love that you always say that it's more about being healthy than being skinny or being slim, because there's lots of people that are slim that aren't healthy, right? So that's the most important part is being healthy. So any closing words, Dr. Vance, that you want to share?
6 years later, I'm pretty happy with my decision.
I love it. And you look amazing, by the way. Like just seeing you in person the last few times, I'm like, wow, like she is crushing it and you look amazing and you're just glowing. And so thank you for taking the time today. I know you're busy as well, and we just appreciate you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Again, get back to the person that shared this with you. We're excited to bring you on board and have you try these drops out. Hope you have a great night or evening or morning, wherever you're tuning in from, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.